Good morning, my hungover bros and broettes. In today's video, Beer Biceps is bringing you 5 easy breakfast options to cure your hangover. Starting with eggs as the main theme, because keep in mind that eggs are an actual hangover cure. Eggs contain something called cysteine, which helps break down acetaldehyde, which is one of the main hangover causing toxins. And secondly, fruits, because fruits replenish your potassium stores. Remember, alcohol is a diuretic, it makes you pee a lot, and in the process of peeing that much, you end up losing a lot of potassium. So you want to replenish all that with fruit. So in today's video, I'm bringing you 3 easy egg recipes and 2 easy fruit recipes. Okay, so recipe number 1 is my personal favorite egg recipe of all time. It's the leftover omelette. In this case, I'm using leftover butter chicken from the previous night. If you're Indian and you celebrate New Year's, you know we love our curries, and chances are that you've ordered a lot of curry for that New Year's party, and more importantly, I'm pretty sure that a lot of it is left in your fridge. So the first step in creating this butter chicken omelette is taking about 3 or 4 whole eggs, breaking them open and mixing just about 3 or 4 tablespoons of butter chicken. Keep in mind, you don't want to overdo it with the butter chicken because then it doesn't allow your omelette to set. So 3 eggs, 3 tablespoons of butter chicken. To make it even better, you can amp up the freshness levels with coriander and mint, finely chopped as I've done here. Remember, butter chicken with the eggs is a little bit heavy and you need those little bombs of freshness to break through. So once all the flavors are incorporated, you just get it on a hot non-stick with a little bit of ghee and let it cook out. Now if your omelets turned out a little bit thicker than you anticipated, you can cover it with a lid and just let it steam a little bit to cook out. Or towards the end of the cooking process, you can flip the omelette over and let it cook from both the sides. It's completely up to you, and you'll perfect this recipe with trial and error. But trust me, the end result is one of the most delicious things you'll ever have in your life. Ideally, serve it up with some naans or rumali rotis to remind you of that butter chicken and naan goodness. The next supremely delicious hangover cure is roasted pineapple. Super simple, and I promise you this is one of the most delicious fruit recipes you'll ever have in your life. Now a lot of people have issues with cooking fruit because it definitely does lower the nutrition levels a little bit, but keep in mind the vitamins are lowered, the minerals stay intact, and we're primarily turning the fruit as a hangover cure for the potassium, which won't be affected because of the cooking process. And more importantly, keep in mind when you cook fruit, the heat kind of breaks down the internal sugars and amplifies the sweetness of the fruit. That's what we're going for. So in this case, I'm taking a regular pineapple and cutting it into thick chunks because thick chunks are the key in this particular dish. So I'm going to top the pineapple with a good amount of ghee just to make sure that when you roast it, it gets a good color and it cooks evenly. I'm going to top all the pieces with salt to just break through that intense sweetness from the pineapple, and then it's completely up to you. You can go in with whatever flavors you want. In this case, I went in with ground cinnamon on 2 of the pieces and red chili powder on 2 of the pieces. The flavors you choose are completely up to you. These are my personal favorites, and I think that chili and cinnamon go amazing with pineapple. So the final step is get your oven preheated to about 225 degrees Celsius and just let those pineapples roast in that oven for about 20 minutes. 20 minutes later, you're gonna be left with these amazing, sweet, juicy chunks of heaven. Try it out. The next recipe we're talking about is a simple boiled egg bhurji. Just like your regular Bombay bhurji, but instead of using raw eggs to cook it out, first we're gonna boil a couple of eggs and then grate them into these fine strands. Now the charm of this bhurji, besides having eggs which help a lot with hangovers, is that when you grate it super fine, the texture of the bhurji is just very light and it's really nice. It's one of the best breakfast options you'll have. You should definitely try this. So the protocol is to go with your regular bhurji items, that's onion, tomatoes, garam masala, red chili powder, and salt of course. And once you've got the base of the bhurji ready, just add the shredded egg. It's as simple as that. One of the lightest and most delicious versions of eggs cooked in an Indian style. The next super simple recipe is banana porridge. Amazing for hangovers thanks to the super high levels of potassium in banana. Now the first step in making this is that you just take 1 stick of cinnamon and grate most of it into a fine powder. But if you want, you can leave just a little bit to get your porridge started. So the first step is take a little bit of ghee, and that little bit of cinnamon that you've left, you let it just simmer away in the ghee. So the ghee gets flavored with all that lovely cinnamony flavor, and at this point you can go in with the banana. Now ideally for this recipe you should be using overripe bananas. Overripened, I don't know what the word is, but you know what I mean. The more ripe a banana is, the sweeter it gets, and the sweeter it gets, the more delicious your porridge gets. So just go in with the bananas, smash them up as much as you can, and just let it cook away. The more you cook it, the more you'll see it starts caramelizing and changing color. Now take this as far as you want. Remember, the more you let it cook out, the sweeter and probably even more bitter it's gonna get. So it's completely according to your own preference. So once it's reached the color that you want, you can take it out and sprinkle just a little bit of cinnamon on it and serve it up. As simple as that. And the fifth and final recipe is one of my favorite egg recipes of all time, the simple shakshuka. Now this isn't the traditional shakshuka where they use red meat in the cooking process. This is just the simple Indian version meant for all you hungover bros and broettes. So to start off this recipe, you get your pan on a medium heat, get some ghee on there, put some cumin in, put some garlic in, and just let it simmer away. Once your garlic is starting to go a little bit golden brown, you can go in with onion paste. You let the onion paste cook away till the color starts going a little bit brown, and at this point you can go in with tomato puree. And again, you just let the tomato puree cook away till it becomes kind of clumpy, till it separates from the fat, as we call it in Punjabi households. So after about 10 minutes of letting this mixture just cook away, you taste it to make sure that it's not tasting raw. And at that point, you create 2 furrows, break eggs open, top the eggs with a little bit of salt, red chili powder, and whatever toppings you want. And finally, add a little bit of cheese, cover it with a lid, and let the eggs steam away in all that tomatoey goodness. This is the best dish ever. And as with any other egg dish, this is best enjoyed with toast and served straight out of the pan. So yeah, that covers 5 easy hangover recipes, but keep in mind, hangovers are caused due to heavy amounts of dehydration. So your first step, if you're hungover, is that you get yourself rehydrated and then get your ass to the kitchen and start cooking. And if you're new to this whole cooking process and you want to figure out how to cook something as simple as eggs, I've got you covered. Make sure you check out my beginner's guide to cooking eggs. And until next time guys, I hope you guys liked today's video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and remember to subscribe to BeerBiceps. Those are my handles, that's my Facebook page, and until next time guys, from BeerBiceps, see you. Happy New Year!